intro was made last night by Mike Johnson. Heard about this big panel and took time out of his day to make an intro, have all our names in it. I mean, you know, that's like a thank you that I didn't even ask, and he just did. Holy cow! Look at Danny looks like a Wicked Witch and Freddy Krueger put together.
I am breaking claws.
I thought he went and put a hat on. That's all.
Yeah, you just put a hat on. Can I ask you a question? How do you wipe your bum, dude?
You scratch
it. How do you wipe?
With the good hand.
Oh, okay. You're ambidextrous.
I won't use this one.
Yeah, I wouldn't use the other hand.
It sticks a little bit, but it's got protectors so you don't hurt yourself.
I bet you can cook potatoes and hot dogs, all kinds of things.
Look at that.
Oh, that's awesome. That is pretty cool.
You look like a sushi chef.
All right, everybody. There's all these top 10 lists out there. Everybody has a top 10 list of horror movies, all these companies and all that. And I said, you know what? We need to make our own. We need to make our own with the people from the chat. So what I did was I took a top 10 and I kind of broken down by like category, like slashers, supernatural, haunted houses, Satan's possession type movies that, like the Exorcist type of stuff. So what I was planning to do was when I go down a section, I'm going to ask you guys like
dissection,
like in the werewolves, which one do you want? And then I'm going to start typing it in the poll on the YouTube side so we can have the people in the chat to actually vote for some of these choices that we have. Let me see here. And so basically we're going to start with like werewolves. Werewolves are very popular during Halloween. So for werewolves movie, I want to start with Tex. Tex, is there like one werewolf movie that's your favorite that should be on the list to be voted for?
Oh yeah, no doubt, hands down, American Werewolf in London.
I was gonna say that, you bastard.
You sure? You sure not the sequel?
That's a close number. It's a close tie right there. No, but werewolf movies, I have a tough time because I have two of them that are really my favorites, and one of them is the American Werewolf in London, which has been my favorite for the longest. Okay,
I think it's everybody's favorite, man. I know it's my favorite, and I think Dr. Wu sounded like he was gonna say that one too because that movie
off the moors.
But we can't have a whole list all full of werewolves movies. So there only could be in the Highlander word, there could only be one.
Stay off the moors.
Exploring Harley. I know you're in Canada, so I love that you're gonna have a different perspective because maybe the movies are different, but
there's
maybe
another
there's a different
one.
taste for these type of movies.
I will say this. I watched. Okay, if we want to go favorite all-time werewolf movie, period, over the course of my entire life, I think it has to be Lon Chaney, the Wolfman.
Yeah.
So you want me to change it? You want me to take it off the list?
I think you know what? Somebody else is going to pick it. I want to go. I just rewatched.
It don't matter if people pick the same movies. If they're that good and everybody agrees, that's just that much more impressive that people on the panel all pick the same movie.
That's true. But what do you like, Exploring Harley? What's one of your favorite werewolf movies?
I'm looking.
You shouldn't be in this conversation if you have to look it up. That's embarrassing.
I remember
Skip him, say Dr. Wu, and come back. He done messed up.
I remember the title in French, but I don't remember it in English.
You're talking about the one on that train.
Daily Dan, what's your favorite werewolf movie?
Like I said, I made a list of 10 because it's really hard to pick. But I'm gonna cover my top couple, and then I'm gonna tell you my favorite. Okay, I'm with Tex. I'm a big fan of the old 1941 Lon Chaney Jr. Wolfman movie. That's the one that started it all. Did you know there's one that actually come out before that called Werewolf of London, which was really kind of shabby, but actually was the first werewolf movie. And it's the one that introduced all the wolfsbane and only a man who's pure of heart can become a werewolf by the blooming of Wolfbane's poem. All that come out in that original movie before that. But when it comes to werewolf movies, I'm a big fan, like was said, of the American Werewolf in London series and American Werewolf in Paris. I thought them were pretty cool too. But when it comes to a werewolf movie, the definitive werewolf movie, and I want to give an honorable mention to Silver Bullet because I really like that movie extra special.
You want to put that on the, you want to represent that one on the, I'll put that one on the list here.
Classic. But the number one movie for me, my favorite werewolf movie of all time was number one, part one, The Howling. That to me, that was the werewolf movie.
Hold on, what's one?
That actually scared me when I was a kid.
What's it called?
The Howling.
Oh, The Howling.
Oh, The Howling.
Yeah.
The Howling.
Yeah. You know, you can't get wrong with
The Howling. Yeah.
You know what?
I want to ask you guys this. Your guys' opinion about The Howling. There's a conspiracy story, and I want to know if you guys think it's true or not.
Yeah.
That one of the scenes where the man's changing to a wolf supposedly is a real wolf, a real guy changing into a wolf. Do any of you believe in that part? I mean, it's out there. It's out there.
It's just a really good special effects by Rick Baker that makes you believe that.
You know, I've been legitimately struggling with that conundrum here lately. I mean, I did a whole series back in July on my channel about the whole werewolf dogman.
You know, I've seen every episode of that, by the way.
Thank you.
I would have dropped some links in the chat, but I couldn't.
Well, you can now. And I see Jojo has mentioned one that I was going to mention earlier. I didn't know we were live, by the way. Thanks, Eric.
He just turns it on. He's used to me. He just turns it on.
At least I give my guest a little warning, you know. Okay, hey, we're going to start the show, but
I didn't even time to put mine on my channel.
But you know, I have to agree with JoJo. Dog Soldiers is one of the best ones that's came out in recent history.
Yeah. That was good.
Yeah.
I like Dog Soldiers a lot.
Bob, what's your what? So this is what I got so far. I can only put one more, so we start the chat to vote. I got the American Werewolf from London. I got the 1941 The Wolfman. I got the Howling. So Bob, if you had a choice, is there a Wolfman movie on there that we're missing that should be on there for voting?
You guys have completely missed everything. The greatest werewolf that's ever existed was Michael Jackson.
Okay, that one don't make the list.
Yeah, it does. There's production value in that.
The director of Thriller is the guy who made American Wolf in London.
Exactly. Yeah. So everyone forgets about Little Michael.
And let me point out that this is about movies, not music videos.
It is a movie to me.
Because that's not a movie.
If you get laid to whatever is on the screen, that means it's a movie. That's my definition of a movie.
That means you have a warped interpretation of the word movie.
Cosmic Neighbors, you're the tiebreaker. Should Thriller be considered a movie for this list, or it stays as a music video, should not be on the list?
Hell no, it's no movie. Sorry, Dr. Wolf.
Come on, man. He did it for the ladies. He changed it to
video, and hey, let me go ahead and say it. It's not even a good one.
Oh, come on. You guys like Thriller? You guys are closet Thriller fans. How many of you guys listen to Taylor Swift?
Thriller? Vincent Price's voice.
Okay, but hey, listen, but Dan, listen, I'm not a Michael Jackson fan at all, but we gotta admit, Thriller is still played almost every single year on Halloween.
Every year,
the video is always played. I mean, it's more of a pop culture than most any other song out there.
Hey, I give Thriller
30 million records a year.
When I was a teenager, I bought the freaking album. You know,
Thriller album. Yeah, who didn't?
I had the album. You know, I'm not putting it down.
You know, and I got to tell you, folks, and this is, I guess, a guilty pleasure of a werewolf movie. Teen Wolf.
Well,
Oh yeah, dude.
We still got one more to put on the list.
Yes.
So, Exploring Harley,
Yes.
did you find one you like?
I'll get back to you because
do Ron, because he's still.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. I'm going to put one on this list, and I don't care what anybody says. I'm putting.
I hope you do better with vampires. You might want to search it in
I'm putting Teen Wolf. All right, I'm starting to pull now.
Sorry, Mr. Dan. It's just
I
because I
put
received
Van
an
Helsing
email.
on there.
I received an email, and I think somebody is trying to get my identity because I have just received an email from the driver. No, guys, there's no joke. There's the driver's license bureau that's telling me that I did take an appointment. I didn't take no appointment.
You better handle that.
That's why I'm. Yeah.
Then they go out and commit a crime, and the cops show up at your door to arrest your ass because they look like you.
Important,
I have
man.
to
Go for it, man. Go for it.
Bye.
Go for it, man. I
don't believe that. I think he bailed because he was unprepared.
I'm not prepared either.
He come up to this test with us professionals, and he couldn't handle it, and he sweated, and he bailed under pressure. That's just the way it is.
Yeah. So right now, guys, we got American Wolf in London in winning so far. I mean, that's not easy. And hey, my Teen Wolf is number 2. Wow, that's pretty cool. I like that. Some people are giving me love. All right, now let's go into slashers. Slashers are like the Halloweens, the Burning, the humans.
Like that movie where the girl was a dude at the end called Sleepaway Camp.
Oh, Sleepaway Camp.
I bet that's Dr. Wu's favorite.
That was a foreshadow, wasn't it?
Right, hold on.
Foreshadow.
Sleepaway Camp's a good one. That is a good one.
That's not my choice, by the way. That was just a speculative point,
Yeah, that was a shocker at the end. Like, oh man.
How many times did you play the end of that movie over and over, Dr. Wu?
I accidentally masturbated to it, and I go, no, I didn't know that at the end it was a male. Oh.
No, I brought that one on. I'm sorry, Eric.
Man. But that's what confessional's for. So if you go into church, like, look, okay, I masturbated to like Sleepaway Camp, and it would turn out to be a dude at the end.
Yeah.
And it's like,
real quick, ain't it, guys?
Do like 3 Hail Marys, you're not gay. I'm like, oh, cool, fuck.
Let me ask you guys, can the movie Saw or Hostel be considered slasher? Those are, I mean,
I would think so. I would put them in that category. They're serial killers who take people and cut them up and kill them. It's slasher movies.
Well,
but
the thing about it is, I mean, do we need another category of serial killers?
Oh,
it depends on the serial killer, Whether he's a horror movie serial killer like a guy with a chainsaw in Texas Chainsaw Massacre, or just your basic serial killer like a Ted Bundy documentary or something.
Yeah, it's like what's for dinner?
If we're talking fictional movies,
Helter Skelter or something,
If you're going to talk fictional movies and serial killers, you open that door up to the Devil's Rejects. You open the door up.
They're in there. That door.
I'll tell you guys what. Because
Hannibal series,
serial killers is on
definitely
here.
The Hannibal series.
The serial killer is on this list, so let's just go to serial killers right now. So
American Psycho.
So Dr.
American
Wu
Psycho.
says American Psycho, which that is
choice.
actually.
I like American Psycho 2 better with that cool chick, but and William Shatner, of course.
Oh, let me get one from Ron. Ron, as a serial killer type movie, what's one of your favorites?
No, he already said it. American Psycho.
What was your werewolf movie, Ron? I missed it.
Huh?
What's that?
What was your werewolf movie again, Ron? I missed it.
Oh, I liked what was it? I can't even.
The 4 that we had on here.
I'm old school with that, but I was saying I would put Van Helsing on there.
Is it Van Helsing more vampire?
No, I don't.
It's vampires, werewolves, Frankenstein. It's everything. And when I made my list, I went out of my way not to include none of them none of them crossover movies in categories like that because there's just so many.
Well,
it's
for
like
the serial
every
killers,
Costello meet Frankenstein. You got every monster in the book in there, you know?
Yeah.
So, well, for the serial killers, of course, we got American Psycho. So, according to Jessica Jones, Tex knows his serial killers, which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Yeah, I'm a little bit concerned.
So Tex, what's your number one serial killer movie you're excited to watch right before Halloween?
You know, there's so many out there.
They are,
but
there can only be one.
My favorite serial killer movie, fictional movie, and we have to go. I think we have to go that route. We have to make that distinction. Fictional movie.
Fictional.
Yeah. Has got to be is well put together, and I think it's going to be. The Hannibal series. Now, if I have to choose between the series,
hello, Clarice.
Yeah, you Silence of the Lambs is an absolute awesome movie. They used real serial killers to formulate the personalities and everything of Hannibal Lecter, Buffalo Bill, and it's because a lot of people get confused because everybody talks about Ed Gein being a serial killer. He's on the edge because he was more of a grave robber, and I mean, don't get me wrong, he killed a couple of people, but he didn't. He killed 3 people, okay, but 2 of them were female, 1 of them was male. He didn't use the same, MO, and I mean, so I don't consider him a serial killer, but they did pattern Buffalo Bill off of him.
Yeah.
Okay.
It takes the lotion from the bucket.
Yeah. That's where they got the whole making the suit out of the skin and everything. That's where they got that was Ed Gein. But
it takes the lotion from the bucket.
The sequel, Hannibal, the scene where he cuts the guy's top of the head, where he cuts the top of his head off and serves him his own brain.
That was one of the few scenes in a movie that actually bugged me out a little bit. Did him like the monkeys in Asia.
I think that it was
not bad with mustard.
Those movies were so well made, and it's not you don't have to rely on blood and guts to be a horror movie. This takes the suspension level. It's almost a Hitchcock-like theme, but they're not afraid to show blood and guts too. I mean, look, they even dipped into the pig farm killer from Canada.
Oh yeah,
in that movie.
Yeah. Human teeth don't digest. Forgot to knock out the teeth.
Come on, Luke.
What was that serial killer movie that Silence of the Lambs based it off? The first one, Mindhunter.
Red Dragon.
Red Dragon. Well, the original
Red
one.
Dragon.
The original one. Well, Red Dragon was okay.
Red Dragon was made, but Mindhunter. Red Dragon was Mindhunter, or
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Bob, you don't remember Mindhunter? It was directed by the guy who made the Miami Vice show, so it had that eerie, Miami Vice.
Well, synthwave. It had synthwave. Had that eerie synthwave music. The 80s. Yeah.
Well, and the guy that played Hannibal in the original one, not Silence of the Lambs, the original, what you're calling
yes.
Mindhunter, is the same guy that played Angus in Braveheart.
Ah.
Okay.
Wow. Oh yeah, yes.
Yeah.
Played his uncle. Was it Angus? Played his uncle that He got him after his father was killed and took him and educated him and everything.
Yep.
The Hannibal Lecter series is a really good choice, Tex.
Yeah. We should all get up and do the Buffalo Bill dance. We could tuck our wieners. Goodbye, horses.
Oh my God, woo! Have you been
drinking? Would you F me? I would F me.
I think somebody might have had a morning toddy.
Oh, actually, having a cold beer.
Yeah, there you go.
It's
we can tell. We can tell, Woo. We can tell.
It's Clamato juice.
You know, me personally, my choice is I have to go with the classic because it is Halloween, and I think to me the king of all Halloween serial killers is Michael Myers. Halloween 1 and Halloween 2. I watch them. I got them on the DVR now right now. Tonight I'm going to sit down like I do every Halloween. Watch Jamie Lee Curtis run from the face of fear with a William Shatner mask on.
But I don't an Inside Out William Shatner mask, by the way.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, the mask was
painted it, aged it.
Oh wow.
Inside Out.
And I think a lot of us are overlooking the classic that started it all, Psycho.
Yeah,
Psycho.
Okay, let me throw some trivia
with his mother.
Here's a question for the panel.
Mother fetish.
All the experts out here. Hey, that William Shatner mask you was talking about, what year was it made?
Oh, hell, I don't know.
78.
Did they make that?
70s.
Particularly when the motion picture come out for that Halloween of 79, I believe it was.
Halloween was 1978.
Huh? 78, 79. Is that when they made that mask?
1978. And they went to the store and bought the mask for $1.
Yeah.
And what year did a Halloween come out?
Well, the movie came out in 1978.
And what year did Star Trek the motion picture come out?
80s, right?
Well, that came out in 1980, but the Star Trek series was in the 60s.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they didn't have them masks for the Star Trek series.
No,
they had the little face mask. When did they make the pullover mask? When did they start making this series of pullover mask? This is the Bela Lugosi Frankenstein. They made the William Shatner, and they made the other pullover mask the same year. But the pullover mask you see for William Shatner wasn't made for Star Trek. Do you know what it was made for?
Oh, listen to this. Oh, y'all like it?
They took his face, and they were making this movie back in the early 70s, and they had to have William Shatner's face because his eyes pop out, so they made these plaster casts of his face. And that's where the mask comes from. And it's from a movie called The Devil's Reign. And that's where they had made the plaster thing that they used in that movie. It's actually from The Devil's Reign. It's not from Star Trek.
Oh, well, yeah.
Oh.
But we know we meant that it's the actor's face.
Yeah.
And they removed the eyebrows and they made the eyes a little bit bigger.
But
apparently,
when
story goes that William Shatner never knew that they made the mask out of it until somebody told him.
Because when Star Trek the motion picture come out and they started making the pullover mask, instead of paying William Shatner to come in and make the mask so he could get residuals from it, they used something they already had in stock, was a mask he had already made for this other movie, and they just refixed it, painted it skin tone, and bammed it out as the William Shatner Captain Kirk mask to make a lot of money without having to pay him. Because they already had the rights.
One of the reasons they picked the mask because it was the face was motionless, and that's exactly what they wanted. Right. So if you're Captain Kirk, you're like, oh, they picked me because I was motionless.
So what do you think, Ron? What's your pick?
Yeah, we got one more because we got American Psycho, Hannibal, and Psycho, and I'm gonna put Halloween in another category. So, Ron, if I could put one more Psycho movie, which one would you think? You know Psychos. Come on, Ron. You know Psychos.
How about the original Psycho, Ron?
Let's put Saw.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Now, Saw, that really fits the category because that's a hell of a
They should make these lists bigger.
Serial.
It's a shame you can only put 4 on there because people like Norman Bates and the original Psycho gets left out. You know.
Well, Psycho, that movie, the Psycho series is on this list right here, on this poll right now. So you got American Psycho. You can vote for Hannibal series.
The same thing.
But he was talking about the original Psycho.
The original Psycho,
Anthony Perkins.
Norman Bates. Norman Bates
is right
with
now.
His mother.
He's also in this poll right now. People are voting on it right now.
Yeah, the original Psycho's up there.
Oh, yeah, he is.
Yeah, I got it in there. Oh. It looks like it's winning.
It should be.
It looks like the original Psycho.
But my choice would still be the Halloween guy, Michael Myers.
Well, I'm gonna do one with Halloween. I want Halloween to go up against Halloween, Friday the 13th, and I want those to battle each other.
What about Jason Voorhees?
That's gonna be up against Halloween in one of these polls.
Yeah, because he wasn't.
Honestly, if it's
Jason
just about serial killers with no special powers or nothing, Michael Myers or Jason Voorhees shouldn't be in that, because they're definitely of the class of movie monsters more than serial killers.
Why are you guys forgetting the number one? It's Mrs. Voorhees.
Yeah, and she's not. She's human.
Mrs. Voorhees is the ultimate serial killer. Everyone's like, they forget about Mrs. Voorhees because they think about Jason Voorhees, but Jason Voorhees was not the killer. It was his mom, Mrs. Voorhees. You guys didn't know that?
No, that's true.
I knew that, but
thank you.
She made it through that first movie, and then her head went off, and then the next 57 movies, it was the other guy. So,
yeah, well, he was upset because they killed his mom. Because what? She went on a killing spree. Big deal. That's what moms do for a living. But then they killed her, and then he went psycho. So, Mrs. Voorhees, the mother, is the ultimate serial killer.
And there's always been that question: Did Jason really truly did drown, or did he? Oh. Did he actually? Some say that he didn't drown. He was on the sideline and saw his mother get beheaded, but he actually technically never drowned. So there's different stories on, and the creators that they're still battling over the rights. So that's why we haven't seen another Friday the 13th movie, because the rights went back to the original writer of the first one, where Steve Miner or Cunningham, both of them are in courts fighting for the total rights. And then one person got rights to play in a foreign country. Another one's got rights for America. I mean, it's a big mess. That's why you haven't seen another Friday the 13th movie, because it hasn't been settled yet in the court systems.
What if Jason is just possessed by his mother? So technically it would be considered a possession movie also.
Well, technically, Bob, Jason and Michael Myers, you can say they're both kind of possessed in a way by their mom.
Yeah.
Because if you go to the Ron Zombie version of Halloween, which I liked, he was told to finish the game by his mom. Yeah. And Jason kept the mom's head on a table in Friday the 13th Part 2, like they still talk to their mom. So in a way,
see, it all goes back to the mother.
They're still being driven by their mom even after they're dead.
Yeah, totally. It's the mother. It's like some sort of, like you kill your father, you marry your mother in psychology. It goes right back to the mom, man.
All right. So that poll is in it. So Psycho is the winner on that one. Now let's
you didn't put
jump
Mr.
into.
In there.
We're gonna jump into a different kind of a category here. We're gonna jump into the horror movies of Bigfoot.
Oh, I'm not familiar.
We're gonna have fun with some Bigfoot here. We got a lot of Bigfoot people in this chat right here. I've been ending it with Ron, but I'm gonna start with Ron. Ron, is there do you know of if you don't know of a Bigfoot movie, you can say pass, but is there a Bigfoot movie that
nothing that I could think of right now, and I don't want to start searching and all that. I got to think.
Yeah, and that's fine, and then we'll skip that. So Tex, you're a Bigfoot guy. Is there a Bigfoot movie that's a horror for you?
As far as, oh man,
I'll say the Bigfoot Trap. That's what I'll say. That I just seen it. It's corny, but that's it.
It works.
What's it called?
The Bigfoot Trap.
It's a brand new movie. It just came out in 2023. It's actually one of the 3 movies that's come out that I haven't seen. I've seen all the rest of them.
And it's called Bigfoot Tracks?
Yeah, Trap.
I never heard of it.
The Bigfoot Trap. It's about these guys that they got like a social media channel, like a YouTube channel, and they like claim that they found, they spot Bigfoot all the time, and they're selling merch and all that. So they get some reporter out there, and it turns out, like, I don't want to spoil it for nobody, but the guys You just got to check it out, like, because it's Bigfoot's there, but they're also do some hoaxing too, because they want to make sure that the reporter gets something and all that. So I'll leave it at that because I really don't want to spoil it for anybody.
I've never seen it. I want to watch it.
I haven't seen it
a couple of weeks ago.
It's practically come out in the last few months. It's brand new. I saw a trailer for it on YouTube.
Well, Daily Dan, I know you love. We had a show on Bigfoot movies and stuff. What was your number one Bigfoot movie you loved? I forgot.
You know, I could talk for an hour about Bigfoot movies. Let me point out first, right off the rip, that my number one most hated movie that I can't stand, the one I recommend nobody watches, is The Man Who Killed Hitler and Then Bigfoot. That is the biggest piece of crap that ever freaking existed.
We don't want your piece of crap. We want your favorite.
But you see, I got a tie for my number one favorite Bigfoot movie. It's a tie because there's two of them I love equally.
You only choose one.
If I had to choose one, I would choose The Legend of Boggy Creek. Is my all-time favorite Bigfoot movie for being most accurate, most feeling real, and the one that scared the heck out of me when I was a little kid, a little bit. But just to mention that my number two, my tie would have been the Creature from Black Lake. It's probably my second favorite.
Oh, you only have one. Tex, you get one. What's your favorite Bigfoot movie?
Oh man, well, you took my number one because the Legend of Boggy Creek.
That's the one,
man. I mean, that's what started it for so many people, but I'm going to have to go, if I can't, because that one's already in the running. I'm going to have to go with Exist.
Oh, yeah.
What's it called?
Exist.
Oh, Exist. Oh, that's the one that I was going to say. That one was good because in that one, you kind of don't blame why Bigfoot was killing because of the child.
Right.
It kind of gave it like, they didn't care. So, it's like I guess you can say that Bigfoot is a lot like Friday the 13th in a way where a mother love for his child.
Yeah, it goes back to the mother again.
Goes back to the mother.
Goes back to the mother. Sacred feminine.
The thing about it is called Big Legend.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's a really good Bigfoot movie.
I actually got to meet the director and the actor, the main actor from that movie.
Oh, that's awesome.
They were at the Jefferson conference a couple of years ago. Great.
It's really cool. That's one that's on YouTube you can watch.
Yeah. But Exist to me addresses so much stuff that we actually talk about, on our shows and in the community and stuff, that I think it's plus it's made. I mean, it was set and made in Texas. I mean, I may be a little biased on that too, but there's a couple of others out there that are really good. The Lost tapes, the Lost Coast tapes, Bigfoot, the Lost Coast tapes. Mm-hmm. I thought that was a good
Willow
one.
Creek.
Willow Creek is another good one.
Wow.
Directed by Bobcat Goldthwait.
This is what I'll do. I'm going to start the poll right now.
I got to say, I can talk these all day long, dude.
I'm going to start the poll. So I got Bigfoot Trap versus The Legend of Bobby Creek, Exist, and Willow Creek. So right now, people, start in the chat voting.
King Kong. I mean, King Kong is a hominid.
No,
Hold
on.
He ain't got nothing to do with Bigfoot there, Bob.
Yes, he does. He's a Gigantopithecus, and I'm an anthropologist, and so is King Kong. So King Kong is technically a Bigfoot. He's the original Bigfoot, King Kong.
Now here's one.
Let's get a little satanic here for a second. Let's do satanic possession movies.
Trick or Treat. No. Yes. Trick or Treat, right? What's his name? Sammy
Kerr.
Sammy Kerr. Yes.
And that because,
it's
possessed.
He possesses, right? Well, I guess there's electronically.
Satanic possession movies like
he possesses electronics.
with evil Satan movies in general.
Well, I was actually going to put Trick or Treat in the supernatural section.
But he possesses, just because he don't possess humans, he possesses electronics.
Bob, you're right. That's your pick. That is your pick. I am going to hold on. Just real quick. Looks like the Legend of Bobby Creek is going to be the clear winner, which I don't think anybody would say that. So I'm going to end that one. So I'm going to write down.
This is badass. Enjoy this.
The Legend.
I like horror movie guys. You guys are awesome because it's hard to find people that watch horror movies. It's fun. I love horror movies.
So I'm starting a new poll. And Bob, hey, that if you say you want to put Trick or Treat as your Exorcist movie, that's fine.
Hey, Rick, check the private chat. That's so you could see it later.
Oh, no, I already did, Ron. I have it up on the side.
I'm surprised Ron didn't agree with us on this one because he's all about computers and computers getting hacked and possessed. There's possession.
For Bob's pick, I do got to tell people, if you're going to look up Trick or Treat, there's 2 movies. There's 2 Trick or Treat movies out there. What Bob's talking about is the 1986 Trick or Treat.
Yes, the best.
All right. So Ron, what is your favorite Satan possession type movie?
You know what? I guess it counts for it, but this is going way back. Like, I actually have 2. Like, does The Shining count as one like that? Or I was thinking The Omen.
Oh, the Omen.
The Omen definitely would.
You can pick either one of them. This is yours.
I mean, I'm going back to. I remember The Omen always freaked me out. I liked that movie, but I never liked that movie. If you know what I mean. So, but I don't know where The Shining falls in, but I'll say with The Omen. I'll make it simple.
The Omen's good, because The Shining is like a reincarnation kind of.
Way to think out of the box, man.
But The Omen, the thing about The Omen is one of those rare movies where the sequels were just as good as the first one.
Yeah, they were.
And Omen 3, when he becomes a ambassador or senator, I forget exactly.
Okay. Up until the point where they made
born from a dog,
where they made the Omen Creek kid a girl, then it kind of started going downhill.
I'm only talking about the first 3 original Omens.
I mean, you get
all
like
the rest don't count.
It gets a little bit freaky, man.
Well, the Omen is really a good choice because you got to remember he was born from a jackal, so that means he was dog was artificially inseminated with a human baby, and it was born from a jackal.
We got Trick or Treat, 1986 Trick or Treat. We got The Omen. Daily Dan, what is your possession movie?
I'm gonna talk about 3 movies real quick. My number 1 choice should be The Exorcist because my parents took me to see that when I was, don't do it yet. Should be it because my parents took me to see that movie when I was like 7 years old. And it freaked me out and gave me nightmares because I had the best parents in the world. But my brain flashes back to a few older movies that got me even more so before that. And the one I remember the most for the devil stuff, and I brought it up earlier, was The Devil's Reign with William Shatner, because that was the first one I ever saw on TV as a kid. That I watched it because it had Captain Kirk in it, and Captain Kirk's eyes bugged out, and he turned into a demon and melted. And it was
now it's called The Devil's what?
The Devil's Reign, and it was a nightmare experience for me. And the other honorable mention in that category would be one with Loretta Swit called Race with the Devil. It had Peter Fonda in it too. Well, I love that for some reason. This
is what I have for the poll, and I can only put people. When you use these polls, you're only allowed to put 4 categories. I mean 4. So we got 1986 Trick or Treat, The Omen, The Exorcist, and The Devil's Reign. So you guys can start your voting now.
Oh, you forgot one though.
I couldn't have. I
wish I could one more.
I know, but you can't. You can only put 4.
Shit, you remember Eric? Oh God, he's the?
I was gonna pick Stigmata because I love Stigmata.
Oh, what's his name?
Remember, Stigmata was really, really good. Where
what's that guy's name? Opie. What's his real name? Opie Taylor. What's his real name?
Ron Howard.
Ron Howard's little brother. Ron Howard's little brother. Evil Speak. What about no one? Yes.
1981 Evil Speak.
Yes. Anybody mention Evil Speak? That was like, wow. There's a possession right there.
What's neat about Evil Speak is A lot of people think one of the first computer kind of movies is like War Games would make sense. War Games, breaking into the Whopper.
Yeah.
But Evil Speak in 1981, where he found a black Bible, the Devil's Bible, he used a computer. He programmed it into a computer to figure out what's, how to read the Black Bible in the Devil.
Yeah.
So it's one of the first movies that's just not satanic. They actually use computers like War Games. They did it before War Games.
Yeah. Yeah. He uses
home computers weren't
devil.
common yet.
It's like right now. It was
Ron Howard's brother is Clint Howard.
Clint Howard. I want somebody make a T-shirt, man. He's my favorite B actor ever. He is my favorite. He is number one on my list as the ultimate B actor. He reminds me of that band, Eric, the one that's always never headlines. Mama's all right.
Cheap Trick.
Yeah, and Cheap Trick is like the best band ever, but they were considered a B band. They were only an opening band, but they're better than all the other bands.
When they do headline, it was like smaller venues, but they can unless they go to a foreign country where they can headline arena, but America, no, they were always opening act.
Yeah, what's his name again? Howard, the little brother again. What's his name?
Clint Howard.
Clint Howard. Yes, he's the ultimate. I want a T-shirt with his face on it.
I don't know if it was yesterday or a show on Friday. I told people one of my two favorites are actually 1986 Trick or Treat and Evil Speak.
Yeah, those are two of my top favorites.
Because both those movies was about a kid being picked on by preppies, by rich people.
Yeah.
Because remember in Evil Speak, he was poor. He was welfare. Technically, he was welfare.
Yeah.
And the only reason he was able to go to that military school, because it was all rich kids, is because they had a program to have to invite one welfare. So in a lot of ways, what makes that movie good is you kind of understand why he kind of snapped and went for revenge, because they killed his dog in Evil Speak.
Yeah, which foreshadowed
they killed your dog. Look what happened when they killed John Wick's dog.
John Wick, exactly. That's a foreshadow.
A lot of people died. And in Trick or Treat, they picked on him just because he liked metal music. They called him a metalhead. They thought he was a devil.
Eric, remember now he does the computer thing now. Remember, Clint Howard is almost in every NASA
movie.
Every NASA movie or anything. He's always in the control area, the control room. Clint Howard
always a guest appearance in every single Ron Howard's movie.
He's in every like rocket movie. He's part of Houston. He's like he's in every astronaut movie as somebody in the control room. Clint Howard.
Check out the poll. Who won this battle? Ron. Looks like you're gonna win that one. The Omen. Exorcist. Wow.
Really?
Did you ever see a movie called?
I figured it would be 1-2 either way. You know what I mean? Because The Exorcist would have been my other one, really. Like going back. I mean, I like The Shining because there was a bunch like Insidious and all that kind of stuff, and there's so many movies.
There is.
Did you guys ever see the one called Prince of Darkness with Alice Cooper?
Doesn't he eat soup on stage?
Alice Cooper had a kick-ass song that he made for Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives, called He's Back, The Man Behind the Mask.
Oh.
That is a kick-ass Alice Cooper song that was made for Friday.
Yeah.
Look at that Sparks.
Yeah.
Guys, this is where you get your thinking's cap out. Supernatural movies. That could
Pet
be
Cemetery.
That could be Freddy Krueger. Anything that's supernatural. But we're going to start with Tex.
Pet Cemetery.
Tex, when you hear the word supernatural, you're excited to do a supernatural horror movie night. What is your supernatural? That's where the thinking cap really comes in.
I think it comes down to another guilty pleasure.
Masturbation?
What else?
Sleepaway Camp?
Leprechaun.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, with the girl with the perfect hair. What's her name on Friends? And didn't that guy just die? The guy on Friends?
Yeah.
He had a heart attack in the hot tub.
Yeah, and so the other girl from Friends, she was in Leprechaun. Jennifer Aniston with the perfect hair was in
she actually
Leprechaun.
Started in Leprechaun, and remember Kevin Bacon started in Friday the 13th. Johnny Depp started in Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, well, remember, it's all the Weinstein Company. Now, Eric and I did a whole show on the Weinstein Company, and what he did was all these fresh and upcoming actors, he put them all in the slasher movies. All of them. He went to the Weinstein Company, right, Eric? Remember the Weinsteins? They made slasher movies.
They were behind The Burning.
All the slasher movies.
They were like the Blumhouse back in those days.
Yeah.
Idea is low budget movies to make big money.
Yeah.
But you've also, I mean, when you start talking about that, you've got Leprechaun, you've got Critters, which I love that freaking movie. Now I'm going to throw y'all a curveball.
Oh, I'm gonna catch it. Go ahead.
Critters like supernatural. Critters,
and I haven't heard anybody mention this at all.
Throw the ball.
And I think as far as horror movies, it ranks right up there. I mean, on top of the mountain on all the genres that we've even talked about.
Someone drum roll. The Blob. Yes. Yes.
I have a question for you.
I remember that though.
I have a question for you. Now,
that's number 10.
Now, The Blob was great, and I actually really, truly enjoyed the remake. Where usually remakes aren't that good.
The remake
I really, truly enjoyed the remake.
Yeah,
when I watched the original Blob, I have trouble buying Steve McQueen as a teenager because he looks like 37.
You know what? Hold on. I'm going to do this voting here. I'm going to put the Blob up against the Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
Yay!
Tomatoes. And then I'm going to put against Rubber, about a tire that kills people. And I don't know if you guys ever seen this movie. It's actually on Shudder called Slacks, where a pair of pants kills people.
Yeah, I heard you talk about that last night. And let me tell you something. When y'all brought that up, the first thing that came to mind is I saw this movie about a couch called The Couch, and the damn couch eats people. And it's another one of those crappy, cheesy movies that I hope I never see again.
So now, people, put in your vote for The Blob, Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, and Rubber and Slacks. I remember as a kid watching Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. That movie was like,
that's my favorite movie
comedy,
of all time. My favorite movie of all time.
You know, when it comes to supernatural movies,
George Clooney's in part 2. George Clooney's in Attack of the Killer Tomatoes part 2. George Clooney's in it. Oh my God. Well, from the Weinstein Company, he found him and he put him into a movie. It's Attack of the Killer Tomatoes part 2 with George Clooney. Look at that one. How about you guys? How about this one? Have you guys remember the ultimate movie ever? Eric would remember this. Night of the Lupus.
With the rabbits.
Yes. God, killer rabbits.
What about Food of the Gods?
You know, I just did a review for a comic book about Food of the Gods last week.
Oh, man. Oh, wait. Was it I don't know. Was this a movie? Do you remember? It was called Trilogy of Terror, I think.
Yeah, that's the one with that little
doll. That little doll that had the friggin' chain. If it fell off the waist, that haunted me my whole childhood.
No way.
That little friggin' doll. Yeah, Trilogy of Terror with Karen Black, I think.
Yeah, I saw that movie.
Ron, you just added the next category, the best doll horror movie. So
I didn't even get to go on the supernatural thing, Eric. You're not going around the table right, man. Because I have to.
I'm speeding it up a little bit. Dan, I'm just speeding it up a little bit because it's already 9:51. So I'm trying to speed it up a little bit.
It's a movie show. It ain't like nobody's got to be nowhere, right, guys?
Danny Stacy's
I got to be somewhere in 30 minutes, but
Danny's the drill sergeant of this thing.
You just leave
Ron, what's that movie called again?
It's Trilogy of Terror, I believe.
It's good.
I would have to look that up because it's been so long.
That's right. Karen Black, a little doll demon thing.
Yes, Freaky. Yeah, that little bastard. The one that if the chain fell off his waist, he had this little thing. He would go, yeah, like a little Hawaiian friggin' doll or something. I don't know.
Now, we all know.
That gave me nightmares.
We all know behind the scenes, Dan, we know you play with dolls. So what's your favorite horror dolls?
I play with blow-up dolls, so don't be ashamed, dude.
So what's your favorite, Dan, of doll type movies, killer movies?
Me, Child's Play, definitely. It's the master
Chucky?
of all evil doll movies.
Chucky.
Not only did it get movies, it's got a current TV series going on. I'm gonna watch another episode this week.
Chucky.
You know, Dan, that they're actually really talking about this to do a crossover with Chucky and what's that girl's doll?
Annabelle?
No.
Barbie?
Megan.
Barbie?
Oh God.
Megan.
Oh,
because Megan and Chucky are under the same company. They're under the same company. So they're thinking about doing a crossover.
Chucky
Universal owns
Megan.
the rights to them both.
I
just sent you a private chat.
I liked Megan, but I mean, we're talking that's not really. I mean, it is a doll. Don't get me wrong, but it's more
Robots.
the AI thing that we were talking about earlier.
But you know what, Tex?
What are you doing,
They
Dave?
did a Child's Play remake, and the Child's Play remake, instead of a soul, they actually use AI in the remake.
You're hurting me. Dave.
And the actor who played Chucky in the remake is Luke Skywalker. What's his name?
Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill actually voiced the Chucky in the remake of the AI. So we'll say
Corvette Summer.
Yeah.
Luke, I am your father.
Luke, I am your father.
Is there like a favorite kind of a doll movie?
And I own a Corvette Summer.
So
I ruined everything.
Do you have a doll movie that's scary, I guess?
I was trying to find the name of it, and I think it's the Puppet Master, I believe is what
Ooh.
Oh, way to pull an oldie out.
Some flashbacks here.
Wow.
Puppet Master. That's a
Oh,
good one.
I got a whole run of them Puppet Master comic books over there.
Well, Bob, there's one more we could put down for doll movies. Do you have one?
Well, I mean, technically, rubber, it's an inanimate object. Doesn't have to have a
but
face.
we already used rubber on another poll.
Yes, you're right. That one. Well, then I'll have to say Annabelle. Then I don't know. I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna go generic.
I enjoy the Annabelle movies. All right, the poll started. Now we're gonna go back to what Tex said with Leprechaun, because that's a good one. Because
it's a great one.
Supernatural creatures with Leprechaun. Who should Leprechaun battle against?
Oh boy,
Gremlins, Critters,
Gremlins.
Lupus.
I said Oompa Loompas.
Oh, Oompa Loompas. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, actually, yeah. They were actually pretty demonic if you think about it. The Oompa Loompas.
Hornswoggle in a WWE match.
Good call, because nobody ever thinks of Oompa Loompas as being semi-evil. They're pretty damn evil.
They're Smurfs.
Well, we got a problem right now with this with the doll horror. There's a 3-way tie right now. You got Child's Play. Hold on. Puppet Master just took the lead.
Oh.
40,
Trilogy
30.
of Terror, just so you know, that's what it was.
Oh, I put who cares? I wrote it wrong. It doesn't big deal.
Is Tex froze up, or is he just being the most perfectly still person on earth?
He's just chilling.
See, I'm.
How can you be that still?
Well, I take lessons from Bigfoot.
I thought you were froze up. You were being so stoic.
I love that, because Bigfoot's always cool under pressure.
Yes. And Danny Staten has the coolest hat.
All right, guys, put in your votes. I'm about to close this poll in 10 seconds. So 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7.
Ron, 6, show your cup again.
5,
eventually show your cup.
4, 3, 2, 1. Actually, Bob won that one. Annabelle won.
I knew it.
Oh.
You show your cup, Ron.
Hey, hold on a second. Oh, this new poll. Hold on. This new poll.
Got another one.
Let me put Leprechaun back on there and Leprechaun.
Hey,
Bob, what's the name of that rabbit movie?
Those are the coolest cups. I want one, man.
Bob, what's the name of that movie again?
Which one? I'm sorry, I was looking
rabbits,
at Ron's
the
cups.
killer rabbits.
Oh, Night of the Lupus, which has a star from Star Trek. One of the what was it? Who was it? one of the stars from Star Trek series.
DeForest Kelly, I think.
Yeah, Night of the Lupus.
DeForest Kelly's in it.
All right, so we got Leprechaun, Night of the Lupus. What else should be in there? 2 more.
Ooh.
Well,
Ron said Lupus.
No, I was kidding on that though. What was the topic though again? Sorry.
Supernatural, like Leprechaun. We got Leprechaun, Lupus, supernatural type of beings.
13 Ghosts.
13 Ghosts. That's a good one.
A good movie.
Wow, why am I drawing a blank?
You said
I also like House on Haunted
Hill.
House on Haunted Hill and 13 Ghosts would be my supernatural favorites, I guess.
Well, I'm gonna do Haunted House next, so that's
Oh,
Gremlins. I'm sorry. Somebody said Gremlins earlier.
Gremlins and Critters.
We got the 4.
You got Critters.
Oh, right now. So this next poll that's up right now is Leprechaun versus Night of the Lupus, 13 Ghosts, and Gremlins. People got to give Bob some love on Night of the Lupus because he's not going to live it down for none of you guys.
Yeah.
One person's got to at least get behind Bob.
Everyone's like, I've never even heard of this movie. Everyone's going to go watch it now. Like Night of the Lupus.
And Bob so far, Night of the Lupus got 0 votes. Oh, no,
come on.
Somebody voted.
Probably
I got 0 votes the last one. That's all right.
Maybe because you're not pronouncing it right, because you keep saying lupus like it's some kind of hoof and mouth cough disease. It's not the lepus. It's the technical term for rabbit, a lepus.
Oh, come on, nobody's seen it. Nobody cares.
It's a lupus. Thank you very much.
No, it's lepus.
It's a lupus. Somebody in the sideline. Somebody help me out here. It's a lupus.
It's a lepus. Look at the spelling.
Like,
ain't no O in that word. It's Leppis, and there ain't no O in it. It's not lupus.
That's a Mandela effect.
It's called a dictionary, Bob. It's called a dictionary.
I don't read.
I ended the poll because Gremlins is winning. Gremlins is winning hands down. All right. Now here we go. And there's a lot of these kind of movies out there, but what we're talking about here are movies that deals with haunted houses.
Oh man,
there's a lot of them out there. Let's start with Tex on this one. Tex, is there a haunted house that scares you the most for Halloween or influenced you the most? There's a lot of haunted houses movies out there.
Okay, so the haunted house movie that it didn't scare me. There was one scene in it that really creeped me out, and that was The Shining.
Shining Haunted Hotel, yes. That's an excellent
Here's Johnny.
It wasn't the whole little girls, come play with us type thing. That wasn't it. It was where the woman turned into the old hag.
Oh, yes.
That's the scene that creeped me out. Now, that being said, I don't know if this is a haunted house or not. Technically, I guess it is.
Yeah,
but it's controlled by other people.
The Shining is the place itself is haunted. The hotel, even the movie Dr. Sleep, they went back to the hotel because the hotel is the magic, is the power. It's the.
Whoa.
There's Johnny.
Here's Johnny.
But what about Cabin in the Woods? Where does that fall?
That's a VHS.
Yeah.
God, Cabin in the Woods. That's
Cabin in the Woods broke the curve. It broke the curve. It completely ruined all other movies for me. I'm like, oh, they did it all so well.
They did it all.
Cabin in the Woods. It broke the curve, man. I was almost angry. It's like eating the perfect meal that you can never have again. God.
Let's do this. Daily Dan, what's your haunted house movie?
Well, like I mentioned before, I like House on Haunted Hill a lot.
Okay.
The original one, not the crappy remake.
That was a good one.
It's the House on Horny Hill.
Haunted house movie. But I guess the best one, as far as movie wise goes, would probably be Poltergeist.
But what do you want on this list?
Poltergeist for sure.
Okay, I'll take the haunted house off.
Poltergeist to me is the definitive horror movie, haunted house movie.
Well, the thing is about Poltergeist, what's so cool about it, it was just more than a haunted house. It's about the investigation, getting the cameras, like watching the whole thing, like trying to.
That's what I like too.
It's like the modern day Conjurings in a way. You know, the Poltergeist was before the Conjuring. You know how
he used real human skeletons, man.
That is the rumor.
How far can you go when you start using body parts?
Well, not only that, it dipped into what I ran into personally in living in a house. And it wasn't the house that was haunted; it was the land.
Oh, Pet Cemetery.
Yeah, well, remember they removed the headstones, but they never moved the bodies.
Right.
Now in Poltergeist 2, they started to go a little like crazy where they said it was also an Indian burial ground. But I didn't like that because I like the idea of they just moved the headstones and it was just because they left the bodies there.
Yeah.
You know, but Ron, I got 2 more spots for a haunted house.
I'm gonna just go with this anyway. Paranormal Activity.
That's good. Oh.
And you know what freaked me out the most in there? You remember when they're in bed and it's when the boyfriend finally is starting to listen to her, and all of a sudden you hear boom, and you hear this big bang. That rocked me when that first happened. It made me go like that.
Good choice.
But Paranormal Activity.
Yeah, well, I think what made that movie good is kind of like Jaws in a way. They didn't have the money to really put out the special effects. They couldn't get the shark to work in Jaws.
Blair Witch
Project.
They had
to use the sound effects, like the music, to scare you, to get you there. You know, so the sounds would scare you, even so because you couldn't see a ghost. They didn't have the money for that.
Yeah, it was. So
they used the surroundings. Jaws did the same thing. They couldn't get the shark to work in the ocean. It kept drowning. It kept going under. So they used John Williams' sound to create that. There's Jaws. You just don't see it. And that's scarier because you have to use your imagination.
Well, not only that, the actual live footage of the shark attacking the cage was filmed in Australia off the Great Barrier Reef. And it was a dwarf that they used in the cage.
Wow.
And they sized the cage down. That was actually a 16-foot great white.
And a dwarf in the cage.
Attacked the cage. They didn't know if they were going to get him out alive.
What they were able to get away with back in those days than they can now.
I know.
It's amazing. But hey, we got one more spot on here, Bob. Is there a haunted house movie you want to put on here?
I'm gonna be honest, man. When I was a kid, I was terrorized by Amityville Horror.
That is a great one.
Yeah, I mean that one haunted me for a long time. And if I got scared, I'm like, well, I'm not now, but Amityville Horror was pretty freaking terrifying as a child.
That scene when the guy was hitting the brick, and then you saw the red behind the bricks, and you saw like his face.
Yeah,
I mean,
Amityville Horror.
Regardless of you think what the story is. What really happened doesn't matter. The movie
it don't matter. The movie, it's just a movie, but the movie was great.
The priest.
Yeah.
I mean, what about the movie House?
I like that a lot. That's a real good one.
The Greatest American Hero was the actor in that one, right?
Yep.
William Catt, yeah.
Believe it or not.
And,
all right, people. There's the list. Shining, Poltergeist, Paranormal Activity, and Amityville Horror. Amityville Horror is right out the.
Yes, I'm winning.
100%.
I'm winning.
There we go. Nope. The Shining's taking over. The Shining is throwing his punches. Oh, it's a tie. The Shining and Amityville Horror, you're tied. This is a battle of battles. Come on. It's still tied. Amityville Horror, The Shining, still tied.
Paranormal Activity. Give me a win.
Oh, that's another great one. Creepshow.
Creepshow was fantastic. I didn't even think of Creepshow. That's so good. Yeah.
Thanks for the ride, lady. Thanks for the ride.
Creepshow. Wasn't that with that big Venus flytrap?
No, that was Little Shop of Horrors, which is a great movie, by the way.
That's it.
But Creepshow did have that weird scene where like the guy was like everyone's covered in freaking mold. Like everyone's getting covered in mold. Oh, or was it mold? Yeah.
No, that you're thinking of the Stephen King movie. Oh, dadgummit.
The Mist. Mist. Remember that movie?
No, yeah, The Mist was an awesome movie.
Yeah, The Mist. Very good. Yeah.
But it was that Stephen King movie. It was actually an alien movie, the one you're talking about.
Yeah. Everyone was covered in a green mold.
It was actually red.
Red mold. Oh.
Well, it looks like
I thought he was talking about that Jordy Verrill thing where the meteor crashed and all that green slime and like green bush grew all over Stephen King. And he was actually in the movie.
Yeah, that's the one I'm thinking.
All right, looks like
got them all mixed up.
The winner out of that one is The Shining. So The Shining won that one. Now we got 2 more to do for the top 10. So we are going to go into what they call the genre, which I'm not the biggest fan of the genre, but we're going to do it anyway for this show. Found footage type movies.
Oh.
Found footage.
Oh.
We should just skip that category because none of them's really that good.
I know.
I disagree.
Maybe we go.
So
maybe
we'll Tex, what is the number one found footage movie you think is like it's the best?
I got to go right back to Exist.
Okay.
Oh. Whoa. And Blair Witch Project, right?
That's the one I would pick. Blair Witch Project. Yep.
Yeah.
Maybe a found footage movie. Pick the one that grossed more money than any other found footage movie ever.
And I'll tell you guys why. I actually agree with the Blair Witch Project, not because of how popular it was at the time. Bob and I was living in Maryland, and the town they based it off.
Yeah,
we drove out there, and the people in that town hated the movie so much because people started driving in their town, thought the story was real. People thought the story was real.
Yeah.
And people drove into this town. Bob and I went out there. We drove out there. I forgot what that town's called.
Yeah.
That it was based out of.
It was
right there outside of Frederick, Maryland.
Yeah. It's actually based on the Bell Witch, which is a true story.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
But I mean, the story behind it with the found footage part, I'm talking about that part's the fake part.
Right.
And we drove out in the town, and the town people say they were so mad because people started driving out there, all searching in people's backyards.
Yeah.
Tearing up the cemetery and taking souvenirs.
And making little dolls out of sticks and hanging them everywhere.
Well, so far we got the Exist Blair Witch Project. Now, Ron, technically your Paranormal Activity is actually
I was going to stick with that. I was going to stick with
that.
Yeah.
Found footage. Yeah, that's a close one there. They're
especially
both
the ending.
There's one more, Daily Dan. There's one more we could put on there for the vote. Do you have one?
I got a TV series that was probably pretty good called The Lost Tapes, which did everything was found footage. But like
you gave him crap before about Michael Jackson, about a video and a movie. So don't come now with a TV series.
Oh, shoot. Oh yeah, you slammed Thriller, dude. What's up?
I'm just kidding, bro. Do what you want.
So, Dan, what is that called?
The Lost
Tapes. Drive over here, bring my neck.
It was
the Lost what?
Stuff. The Lost Tapes. But it was a series, not actually a movie.
All right, the voting is in, and then when we go to the last one, it's going to be free ball. Everybody, all 4 of you get to choose whatever guilty pleasure movie you want on this list. But let's see where we're at with the poll so far. Looks like the Blair Witch is running away with this so far, which makes sense. But nobody wants to give Ron a little love.
Come on, man.
Paranormal Activity.
I've got a bunch of zeros already.
Damn.
So good.
Come on.
You know the funny thing, Ron, about the Paranormal Activity is it's one of those rare movies that the sequels that came after it, they were all good in certain ways. I enjoyed every single one of them. Maybe the Mark ones wasn't probably the less of alike to them all, but they all had something that was cool about it.
Yeah, they did.
I love them. They're good. They're really good.
Well, Paranormal Activity is putting a fight in there. Right now we got 50% versus 36%.
Oh.
Yeah, but the Blair Witch too, that was, with the budget, lack of budget, and how they did that, it was kind of brilliant, so. And I even like what Danny did, the Lost Tapes. I remember that.
Because they covered so many different cryptids on the Lost Tapes. That's what made it so good. Even though we know it's 100% bullshit, it was still well presented and very entertaining, like them mountain monster guys.
We got one more to put on the list, and this is a free ball one where I'm going to ask each one of you, whatever horror movie, doesn't matter what genre that it's in, you get to pick for yourself. So we're going to start in order. Tex, what is the number one horror movie for you that's not already on this list that we should put in for the vote?
Jaws.
Is that a horror movie?
It's some people call it a horror movie, some people call it an adventure, but hey, it doesn't matter.
You were horrified.
He wants Jaws to Jaws. So
I didn't get no animal attack movies like Grizzly or Jaws.
The thing is, Jaws had the music, just like Halloween with the John Carpenter. Jaws had Williams, that music. So yeah, I think it could be a horror movie, but it doesn't matter. Daily Dan, what is your horror movie?
My guilty pleasure one.
Whatever one you want.
The one that I watched that nobody else probably does.
That's fine.
Be one called Motel Hell. Because you can't go wrong with a guy with a
Motel Hell
running around.
Oh my God!
That actress in Motel Hell was in Porky's.
Motel Hell, yes.
She was the girl that pulled that guy's thing through the shower scene. The most funniest crap I'd ever seen in my life when I was a kid.
Just their heads are sticking out of the ground and oh no.
That's my guilty pleasure movie of the year right there. I watch it a lot. I got it on VHS from the 70s.
Bob, what is your number one guilty pleasure movie?
Oh gosh. There's so many. How do I even start? I guess there's an honorable mention for The Stuff. No one talks about it. The Stuff. Yeah, kind of cheesy, white goo.
People, this is what's funny about The Stuff. We actually did a whole show on the movie The Stuff, and we were showing some trailers in it. Of all the trailers that I've shown before, The Stuff was the one that shut off that episode. And I'm like, that movie Stuff should be thanking us for bringing that movie back out to the public.
Yeah.
Why would they want to shut down the live show for The Stuff? I thought it was hilarious. But Ron,
you know what?
The final one for this last poll. What is your go-to horror movie?
I'm gonna stick with, believe it or not, Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with that one. That's something I always like that. I was gonna say The Conjuring, but Nightmare on Elm Street.
You know, the first Nightmare on Elm Street was so perfect. It was dark. It was scary. It was before Freddy became not a clown, but he became a Joker in all the other ones. And I remember one person goes, Eric, it's kind of weird that everybody roots now for Freddy Krueger, and technically he's a bad man.
Well, he fought Jason.
Children. I mean, if you really seriously think about it, you're rooting for not a psychotic person that just kills people. The things I'm not gonna say it here because we'll get shut down. But I will say Krueger children. That's all I'm gonna say. I mean, it's weird how that kind of a person got rooted for. I know it's a movie, but
he fought Jason Voorhees. Freddy versus Jason.
And guess what? So far, there's been 9 votes. Nightmare on Elm Street is winning by a landslide, and 67%.
Wow.
Well, think about it. During that time, everything was slasher, like humans killing people.
Yep.
And Nightmare came out was so different. Wes Craven decided he based it on stories of people who actually died from dying in their dreams.
Eric, what was that movie with Wes Craven where they have this underground with all these monsters?
People under the stairs.
No. He goes.
Nightbreed.
Nightbreed.
That was Wes Craven. Nightbreed was
Nightbreed.
Off the Clive Barker books.
Yeah.
There was what was that movie? What was that movie where these things would come up out of the ground?
Chud.
What was it?
Chud.
No. This was dadgummit.
Oh no. It's not the Worms, right? With Kevin Bacon?
No.
You're talking about the modern day one, Us.
Dadgummit.
Yeah, I was just gonna say something, and then it's funny Texas saying that because I just remember this movie. It was called "Don't Be Afraid of the Dark," and it was those little things that came out of all the cabinets.
Oh.
Did you any of you ever see that movie? Don't Be Afraid of the Dark.
I thought that was a
That's
TV
what I
show.
thought Tex was gonna say because it sounded familiar with what he was.
But this one's like a permanent
TV show with different stories every week.
Oh man.
They were hiding in the cupboards. There was these little creatures that they were like in this portal to hell, and they would come up through the
Chud, wasn't it? Oh, or Fantasia? No, not Fantasia. Or Phantasm. Oh, Joe Biden looks like the guy from Phantasm. You guys ever notice that?
Yeah.
He does. He looks like the guy from Phantasm. When I see Joe Biden, I'm like, oh, that's the guy from Phantasm.
Better.
That's the guy from Phantasm. Wow. He steals bodies at the morgue.
You may be right, one, Lou.
Wow.
You
Joe Biden stealing bodies.
Well, this is what. All right, I'm gonna show the people the 10 movies that were selected here from the chat. Now, listen. These movies are not technically in order like what we would vote for number 1 to 10 because I can't do that as a poll. But the 10 movies that we selected, and anybody can put these in any order they want, because at the end of the day, it's up to you on these 10. But the 10 movies that we got from this show today: American Werewolf from London. We got Psycho, The Omen, The Blob, The Legend of Bobby Creek, Annabelle, Gremlins, The Shining, The Blair Witch Project, and Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh wow!
That's
Eric,
movies
for the 50th time. It's The Legend of Boggy Creek. B-O-G-G-Y. I don't know why you always do this.
No, because it spells correct.
It's not like it's a rap video. Let's all go down to Boggy Creek. Bobby Creek. Go.
Dan, it spells correct to Bobby. It automatically switches it to Bobby instead of Boggy.
Because my name is Bobby, and Eric always says Bobby.
So I just don't change it. I just let it be.
Bobby Creek. That's been confused some people. Especially the death ones.
Remember that movie Cat People in the 80s?
Cat People with the singer David Bowie. Yes. Yes, Cat People with David Bowie.
I think the movie was in what, in 82 or something like that.
Oh, that was an original of Cat People that come out way back in the day in black and white.
The one I'm talking about was in the 80s where she
that's David Bowie. That's the David Bowie one.
Yeah. Do you guys know
in The Hunger?
What 80s horror movie where the soundtrack outsold the movie?
I know exactly what that was. I know that one.
Anybody else know what soundtrack outsold the movie? It's an 80s movie. I'll give a hint. It is a Stephen King movie.
I want to see the song. Who made who? Who made you? Anybody?
Maximum Overdrive.
Yay!
It was actually Stephen King's debut directing movie. And at the time, AC/DC, this is true. AC/DC's popularity was dropping a little bit because they already went through the Back in Black on the albums, and their popularity was actually dropping a little bit until that movie came out with Who Made Who, and they made that soundtrack, and then that soundtrack made more money than the movie itself. And
what a great album!
I like Maximum Overdrive with
what a great album, great movie.
Emilio Estevez.
One of the greatest movies ever made.
I'm not saying they should keep doing remakes, but if you're going to do a remake, imagine what you could do with Maximum Overdrive nowadays, where everything is controlled by electronics.
Yeah, like imagine a bunch of Tesla cars. They're all they're all computerized and they're all electric. Imagine all these electric cars.
What about your Ring cameras shocking people or doing something?
Am I the only one that's noticed in recent years that the smarter the car, the dumber the driver?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, you're right.
Yep, 100%. As an anthropologist, I'm going to say yes.
Now, here's a movie that none of us have mentioned, and it gave me the creeps when I saw it, and it still gives me the creeps to this day. Well, actually, there's two movies. One is Basket Case. Well, I've mentioned that one before.
Oh, good one.
Oh, it's an old one.
Which is I'm sorry, that is a creepy freaking movie.
We talked about it last night.
Yeah.
Oh.
Now going back even older and getting into when Vincent Price was in his prime.
Vincent Price. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that.
Tingler.
The Tingler.
The Tingler.
Tingler. Oh my God, that's you beat me on that one. I haven't seen that.
I haven't even heard his name in so long. Vincent Price. He was brilliant.
You know, my grandpa used to tell me a funny story about going to see the Tingler in theaters. He said when he went to the theater, they used to hook the chairs up where it'd give you a little zap and make you a little shock at certain parts of the movie. And he said his daddy took him to see the Tingler and nobody told him about it. And he said he was watching the movie and when it came to that part where you zapped him, it zapped him and it scared him so bad he pooped himself in the theater really bad.
That is awesome.
Oh, Christine. Yes, Dogman. Christine was really good.
He said it was his most embarrassing moment.
Lawnmower Man. That was good.
Lawnmower Man.
Fright Night. The original Fright Night.
Fright Night, the original.
Really good.
That was good.
God, I love it. Everyone just throw some good ones.
I don't know.
My favorite. Everybody knows my favorite movie was the Night Stalker with Darren McGavin. That's my favorite TV horror movie. I tried to show that Saturday night and got a copyright strike about 20 minutes into it for those that were watching.
Now
apparently you can't show that even though it's on 50 channels on YouTube.
I don't know if you can consider this a horror movie. I mean, I guess you could, but I think it's one of the greatest movies made in a long time. That's Troll Hunter.
Troll Hunter. I saw that. It was a foreign-made film, and they translated it to English, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And it was still
God.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I saw it. It had little words on the bottom. It wasn't translated.
Oh, yeah. Now it's translated. You can watch it now. It's great.
That sure would make it easier. I don't like to read a movie.
Yeah. It requires reading words. I know how you feel.
Ugh.
Well,
I mean, what's life without crayons? I think with crayons mostly.
I read the original Godzilla last week when it was on the one without Raymond Burr, and the only way you can see it is if it's got them little words down at the bottom where you have to read the movie. But it's actually much better than the one with Raymond Burr if you watch it.
Oh yeah,
very good.
They put him in there to Americanize it. That's exactly what they did.
Yeah,
they took out so much of the original context of the movie when they added him and cut stuff out that the movie loses something in the American translation.
Now, Roger Blair says Abbott and this was mentioned last night by Roger. Abbott and Costello meets Frankenstein.
Absolutely,
Costello meets anything.
Love that.
Absolutely.
I grew up on Abbott and Costello. Everything they've ever done is major with me.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna wind down a little bit. I gotta go pick my son a little bit, but before we do, last night, just for people to know, I was actually on Tech's Front Porch channel. And we had a great fun time, great conversation. We talked about the Gettysburg thing, Bob. We talked about the Gettysburg on there yesterday about our encounter of that spooky type of thing that we went through. And Tex came in an hour after I talked to these two lovely ladies. I mean, it was a fun time, great conversation. You guys haven't seen that one yet. I'll put the link in that chat and all that. And I do want to thank everybody for being here today because it's too hard. It's really hard because everybody has different tastes in horror movies. There's so many different ones. I mean, we haven't even talked about like the John Carpenter vampire movie. He took that one actor and made him a badass. I forgot the actor's name he used in Vampires.
Wood. Is his last name Wood?
Yeah, Wood.
James Wood or
James Woods.
James Woods was already a badass for that movie.
He was a badass, but he really made him a badass.
Yeah, hunting vampires.
Now
man,
the sequel with Bon Jovi,
stupid.
We forget the sequel. But there's just so many great horror movies. I know Bob's favorite is Twilight. You just don't want to bring it up.
Yeah, I like Twilight a lot.
Bob always says he wants to sparkle in the mountains.
Vampires.
Yeah, I'm team. What team are you guys? Like, what team are you guys on the Twilight series?
And nobody even brought up
Team Jacob or
The Thing.
The Thing. Nobody brought that up because
I'm not on either team.
What's so special about The Thing was everything in that movie was practical.
The Thing.
Practical effects. Practical effects.
Are you talking about the original or the remake? They're both good.
They're both good. They're both good.
Yeah.
But I'm saying what John Carpenter did with practical effects in the remake was just, when they got that head off and the head through legs.
Yeah. So good.
And
what you got to realize is John Carpenter made his version of The Thing from the original book, from the original script. Howard Hawks, when he made his, he changed it to a giant walking carrot for budget restraints and costume limitations. But Carpenter didn't have the budget restraint and the costume limitations, so he was able to do a really more accurate telling of the story.
Yeah.
Do you know who played the monster in the original?
Yeah, that was the guy from Gunsmoke, right?
James Arness.
Yeah.
Yep.
No way.
Matt Dillon was the monster.
We all know if they make it again today, all of it's going to be CGI.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The practical part that made it. You watch that movie today, in the practical.
Well, they made a sequel to the thing. They made a sequel to the thing recently, and they used a lot of CGI.
Actually, that wasn't a sequel. That was a prequel.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying.
I used to read Fantasia. Was it? Fangora. I used to go down as a kid and get Fangora magazine.
That's a good one.
Fangoria.
John Carpenter, The Fog.
Fangoria.
John Carpenter. The remake of The Fog wasn't that bad either. I actually enjoyed the remake of The Fog. That wasn't that bad. The original's better.
Yeah.
What would Jeepers Creepers fall into?
Jeepers Creepers.
Raw horror.
Great one. Oh my God, we're throwing a last minute
head. Hey,
Pumpkinhead.
I was going to ask you guys this. The first Alien movie I consider more a horror movie, but Aliens, the sequel, that's more of an adventure movie, really.
Yeah.
Pumpkinhead. That was fantastic. But I do want to say, because I do gotta go get my kid. I want to thank every single one of you guys for being on here. It's kind of fun building our own list.
It was swell.
And just real quick, Eric, I just want to say tomorrow night, Jim's back. I'm doing the space talk again. Wednesdays at 7 p.m.
Cool.
Hell yes.
And give the full James name so people know who he is. Who's James?
Jim Goodall.
Jim Goodall. Who is, just in case somebody doesn't know, who is Jim Goodall?
Jim Goodall is a military aerospace guy that's been on every friggin' channel about UFOs and everything.
Non-human inhabitants.
He's a historian. He's known for the SR-71 Blackbird because that's what he worked on throughout his whole career, like that. Jim Goodall, good old Jimmy boy.
And he actually has a connection to the Boeing flight museum. Bob, you work
there. Yeah. I used to work on the Blackbird all the time. Every week I was on I was actually standing on the Blackbird wings, and I had to have a big scissor lift. I had to clean it, take care of it. Yeah.
He's back because I had to take a break with everything I had going on. So I called him up and he said, "Of course, let's do it." He was waiting.
Awesome. That is so awesome.
I want to have more time, Eric, because I really want to tell y'all what I thought about y'all's
Just real quick, I gotta end.
I know, but next time you're doing a ghost thing or a paranormal show, me and Bob will come on and we should talk about what happened to y'all up there in Gettysburg.
Oh yeah.
Because I have a theory that'll blow your mind.
Well, if Bob's not, I don't know if Bob's going back in the mountains this weekend. We could probably do it Friday.
I'm done. The season's over. It just ended.
Just let me know when.
Well, beyond that, guys, thank you guys for being here. Everybody in the chat, thank you guys. It was an awesome show. And hopefully you guys take this. I'm going to put the top 10 list that we created. I'm going to put it in the description. So you guys check it out, watch them, let us know in the chat what do you guys think of the movies. Appreciate it. We love you all. We'll talk to you guys later.